Alright, Tank here. I got 4 different encounters for you guys, all with the Behemoths. Now this is something that's in with the Super Mutant Overhaul. Also we're playing on Survival. Also we're playing with War of the Commonwealth. Also we're playing with Arbitration. And in one particular instance we are playing with better locational damage. So this first engagement, obviously, I'm just trying to take him at range with a 50 caliber sniper rifle. Pretty basic sort of encounter. Staying mobile is just the key. Now, when you sprint around as much as I do, you're not going to have a lot of AP to connect with. You have to rely on your manual aim. Or drink Nuka-Cola. I love Nuka-Cola Quantum. Drink that. Now, I should have probably just hip-fired right there. But I had to be sure he was too close. And with War of the Commonwealth, you can virtually expect for raiders to spawn all the time. Now this was probably the easiest of the encounters. It was the most, you know, I had distance, I had range, I had elevation, all the things I talk about in my survival video, survival tactics. Now this is car hinge, and this makes actually for a very unique encounter. This does have better locational damage on it, and so what I'm going to do is I set up essentially a series of incendiary mines, and I'm always trying to lure my enemies back over the traps that I set up, and then I use grenades or the 40mm grenade launcher to detonate the mines, the incendiaries, when they're around the Behemoth. Now, if you're lucky and good, it's a little bit of both. If you can detonate one of those cars with a grenade or a grenade launcher on that Behemoth, it's going to give you a pretty good head start against him. Now, the thing about car hinge is after we start the encounter, that Behemoth is going to come after you. You can cover distance very quickly, so you better have a plan in mind, because there's nowhere to get elevation on him where he can't reach you. So that should set the car off. Alright, now we should be a little bit ahead. Even though with better locational damage, it is ridiculous to try and take down those Behemoths. It really is. I mean, also we've got Arbitration in there too. So, I like to use incendiaries against the Behemoths to continually do them damage. So I'll use both the grenade launcher and the grenades. I'm luring him back across my minefield now. So even if he fails to step on it, I detonate it under him, and I do the damage with a 40mm, so that really puts a hurting on it. But look how quick he is right there behind me, club me. So I'm going to run past Ada, so Ada engages, gives me a little room to breathe. Now I always take Chemist and Demolition Expert. That's 2 of my favorite perks because I use a lot of drugs, and I use a lot of explosives. I like riflemen, but I can get by without it.
No problem.
Alright, so round 2. That's 2 for 2. And I'll try and finish the encounters. I'm not going to edit those out, so you at least get to see what kind of loot they're carrying with this type of difficulty setting. And if there's if that sound of gunfire attracted other raiders or anything like that. Now this here is better locational damage, and a behemoth that's very near the end of the road past where the wicked fleet shipping center is. And I can see the behemoth down there. It's not my intention to engage him because all I have is a pipe sniper rifle and something like a 45 caliber revolver rifle. And I am playing with better locational damage. So even when I go to shoot this feral roamer up here, you can see, I mean, you really have to be highly accurate with it. And you pretty much have to know, down to the second. I just wanted the hub flower to make Psycho with, and that's, I don't pass up a chance to get hub flower or bloodleaf. And damn it if he doesn't hit me right in the back. It almost kills me. At this point I'm level 8. So I just gotta run. Put some distance. And that bastard's still chucking rocks at me. So I'm always going for elevation. At least I have a half of a chance with some cover. See? That's a headshot. That's a body shot. Miss. So, I mean, better locational damage is definitely makes it very challenging with survival and arbitration. I mean, look at that. It's like I may as well be shooting a BB gun at an elephant. I'll do as many drugs as I can. I think a recurring theme is anytime you see me fight a Deathclaw, Behemoth, I'm gonna be doing a lot of drugs. Now, this was not the best use of jet I've ever had, but I'm just going for headshots as best as I possibly can. And I'm getting them, but that's all the damage that it does. I don't even know if 331 rounds would take him out. Plus the slow reload time on it. And the likelihood that if he hits me with one good center strike, done for. And right there, it almost crippled my head. And the reload time on that's real painful. Alright, watch this. Critical. At this point, I know I've given it the college try. It's time to get the hell out of Dodge. There's no way I'm going to continue this toe-to-toe fight. I'm out of here. So that's an example of me drinking that Nuka-Cola for speed. Right in the back. So, looks like 2 for Inara and 1 for the Behemoth. Alright, now we're coming in. Let me see, we are... right off the tracks, not too far north of the, I think, what is it called? Oberlin Station? Little settlement there. Now this behemoth surprised me. I didn't expect to run up on him. More drugs. Now, Overseer's Guardian. This just goes to show you, I think personally this is the best weapon in the game. Or for the longest duration in the game. Because it just, if you get it chambered for 308 and it's doing those double hits, that's ridiculous. It's a very, very nice weapon to have. I usually use it to clear interior. And there's, looks like Behemoth didn't really win that round, but Inara didn't either. Let's call it a draw. Grenaded by Raider of the Commonwealth. Alright. Now, I may have been mistaken. This is a little bit south of Oberlin Station. And I'm going to be using grenade, using the thrown grenades and the grenade launcher combo to try and inflict as much damage as possible. Look at that half health from that distance. I didn't even see it coming in to the last second. Now this is a really cool gun. It's a legendary that you find in Gorski cabin. I'll actually put a video up about that later. But it's a 40 millimeter, where if you hit the bash, you can actually change the ammo types in it. It does convert some of your thrown grenades to sabots, which is inconvenient for me sometimes. So I try to make sure I have what I need. That wasn't a bad shot, if I do say so myself. I've gotten pretty decent with the 40 millimeter because it is my third go-to weapon. Number one, obviously, the 50 caliber sniper rifle. Number two would be either Overseer's Guardian or the I like this suppressed H&K G3, and then 40 millimeter to follow that up with. So better locational damage is on, and that's why the damage is so painfully low. We'll make it happen. At least try to. I have a good enough position around these rocks to kind of keep him from charging me, so I can drop in and get the cover. Overdrive is a great drug because it helps you boost your critical rate, and that makes a big difference on these big creatures with better locational damage. Let's see if I can get a two from here. And that's where you can really do a lot of damage if you can time your grenades to double up on one another. Well, I'm going to shoot this gunner down here, and it's been Hank. I'll catch you guys later. Subscribe if you like the content.